Going on, guys? I want to do a video on my 2008 F-150. Um, Now, it's granted, it's 1:24 in the morning, 1:34. Looks like 1:24 in the morning. And yesterday, I wanted to. I got they called it a P1305 or something like it, 3015. Anyways, I got a hard miss, not a hard misfire, but a misfire in cylinder number three, and then it gave me another one, uh, where something about ignition, secondary something. Um, in other words, there was a short on cylinder number one. So I got to looking at my connector on cylinder number one. Um, it it was on there, but there was like something stuck up under it. So I took it out, took it off, cleaned it out real good, put it back on. It snapped. So I was like, well, let's try that. So I drove around and it still wasn't working right. So I figured, you know what? These plugs probably haven't been changed in this truck since I've had the thing. I said, so, because I bought it used, the truck. So I said, I'm going to change out the plugs. So I got on Amazon, and on Amazon it shows the plug that fits my truck. It tells you it fits it. But when I received the plugs and I got all my tools out there and I prepped my plugs like on one side, on bank one, which is on the passenger side. I went ahead and broke them loose. What the F-150s, what you need to do is you gotta have that special. Well, it's not a special socket, but it's a socket with a plunger inside to hold the plug. I dropped that down into the well, and then just used a ratchet and a long extension, and I broke it loose just a little bit. I didn't like full swing into it and crack it open because you can break the plugs. And I probably turned it an eighth of an inch, maybe just enough to break it loose. And then I took some liquid, um, what do they call that? Liquid wrench, and I sprayed that down into the well. Not a lot, just a little bit, and I let it sit there. And then I went and did the next plug that way. I broke it loose with about an eighth of an inch turn, 3/4, and sprayed some liquid wrench down in there. Did the next plug that way. Did the next plug that way. You know, just until I got them all uh, liquid wrenched or whatever you want to call it. And then I let it sit there for a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes, and while it was soaking. And then I went back to cylinder number one, and I tightened it. Tightened it up. Then I loosened it, tightened it up, loosened it. And what that does is that works them threads, that liquid wrench down into those threads. And as long as you keep doing that, it won't snap the plug off from the base of the plug. So I kept doing that, and you can tell it when you go back and forth, back and forth. Well, then once starts getting loose, and you can tell it's worked itself down into the threads, then you can go ahead and start loosening it, and you'll feel it'll be kind of tight when you start loosening it after you work the threads. But once you keep turning it, to loosen it, it will break free and it'll come all the way out without breaking the plug. Now, I did all of them that way, all four on bank one, which is the passenger side. I took them all, and before I did this, when I prepped, I blew them all out, all the hose, cleared them from debris. That way, nothing could get down into my cylinders. And I got them all out on that bank bank one side. Well, then I went and got my plugs from Amazon. I coated them with that nickel anti-seize stuff, and well, just one of the plugs I did, and then I put it in my socket. I dropped it down in there, and I was trying to tighten, and it would never tighten. And I was like, well, what in the world? Why ain't this tightening? I kept turning, kept turning, kept turning. It wasn't tightening for nothing. So I pulled it back out, and I was like, well, hell, I ain't even going down in the threads, you know? So I was like, you know what? Let me compare this to the plug that I just pulled out of here. Well, when I did that, it wasn't even the right plug. But Amazon said that it was the right plug for my year and model of truck. I started doing some investigating, and apparently, with the double platinum spark plugs from Motorcraft, they, I guess they fit. I don't know. Ford changed their engine or something, like after a certain year or something. I don't know what happened. But all I know is the plugs were different. They weren't going to work. And I'm going to show y'all. Alright. Here's the plugs that my truck takes. Now this is Advanced Auto Parts here. See, look. Exact fit for your 2008 Ford F-150 XLT. Plug material nickel before 10907 gapped at 0.45, replaced by SP546 type. Standard service pig with black coil boots, 8 required. So this is what my plug in my truck I pulled out looks like. Looks just like this. Well, let me show you the other plug that they make for this vehicle. And it's going to be the same plug. It's just going to be with this here on Advanced Auto Parts. Let me go back. Alright, now here's the other one, and it tells me that it fits my truck. But if you look at the plug, the threads and everything are different. See? Does that fit for your 2008 Ford F-150 XLT plug material double platinum from 10907 gap 0.41 standard service pig with brown coil boots, 8 require. Now see, I've got the black coil boots. I didn't they don't have this on Amazon's site. They don't tell you about with the brown boots. So if you got the brown boots, your plug's probably going to be looking like this. And that's the ones that I would ordered. Now let me go to Amazon's site. I wish I would have seen that. See, fits your 2008 Ford F-150 XLT 5.4 V8 flex fuel. There's the plug. But over here in the description, it says available at a lower price from other sellers, potentially without free prime shipping. Efficient performance, durable, easy installation, limited lifetime warranty, prevents fouling. See more product details. And then it comes over here to see brand, Motorcraft, 0.8 ounces, product dimension, California residents, of course, Cancer causing, I'm sure. Item model number SP509 509. But it don't say nothing about the boots. Motorcraft extended tip spark plug is designed to produce a spark by current to fire the fuel charge. It helps prevent fouling at low engine speeds and self-cleaning at high engine speeds. This spark plug is durable and facilitates hassle-free installation, as well as backed by limited lifetime warranty. Oh, come on. Yeah, they don't tell you in the description. See, I've got the ones where the plugs get stuck in the head, because this one says I changed the spark plugs in my 2010 Ford F 5.4 flex fuel vehicle after 130,000 miles because the engine would occasionally skip under load, and because they were well past the 100,000 change interval. They were an exact fit for this engine since it has the newer plug design without the sleeve that gets stuck in the heads. Now, see, I guess these were made for the newer designed heads, and I don't have the newer designed heads. I have a 2008 Expedition EL with 5.43 valve engine. Build date of 2/27/08. The coils have the brown boots. Is this the proper non-breaking plugs? Yes, it is. From my understanding, you should be good. The redesigned plug date is 11/30/07. So if your engine build date is accurate, this plug should work. And the gapping difference from the older plugs compared to the newer plugs are different. See, look at this. I've read people giving these spark plugs bad ratings because they didn't fit their vehicles. These ones were exactly what I needed for my Ford F-150 4.6, right on time and properly packaged. I've read people giving these spark plugs bad ratings because they didn't fit their vehicles. I could suggest if you are looking for a 2009 Ford Fiesta spark plug, well, type that info into the search. I don't know why that guy wrote that. Perfect match for F-150 2010. These are new plugs that are threaded all the way down for Ford change plug types with the flex fuel engine late 2008 and up. Prior plugs would break off from the carbon buildup. I had a dealership service tell me I risked the plugs breaking off. Blah, blah, blah. Purchased these from my 2009 Ford F-150 5.4 Triton. Everybody's getting these for their 09. I've got the 2008. They sent the newest updated version, I think 546 or something. Either way, it works great. So, that just goes to show you. Just remember, do your research. Let my video help you. There are other people out there, according to Amazon. People are ordering these plugs and they're not fitting their vehicles. And I tell you, I don't know how y'all don't know unless you've gone through it how frustrating that is to get these plugs and then you get them out on one side, go to put them in, and then all of a sudden you can't get them in. So I had to put those plugs back in my truck, wire it all back up, put all the right connectors back to where they need to go, and get this, okay? My truck runs fine now. I didn't use the newer plugs since they couldn't fit my cylinder heads. I ain't getting no misfires. I'm not. I mean, it runs great for now, at least. No more misfires on cylinder 1 or cylinder 3. I think cylinder 3 is the one that was misfiring, and then cylinder 1 was the one that was having the like a short detected or something. But I think what had happened is I'm gonna rotate this around here. I think what had happened is um, trying to remember what I did. Oh, I think when I disconnected the connectors from the ECU, maybe my guess didn't have good connection on the plug on the ECU, because you got these three big adapters, and they connect up to the ECU box, and they got these gray levers that you flip up to make sure it fastens. I think that it just one of the little pins weren't connected to it or something, maybe. But when I hooked it all back up, it runs great. I don't have a problem. But I went ahead and returned the other plugs, and now if I have to change them out later on, um, I know which ones to get, and it's the other types, the 546 SP546. But I just wanted to make a video about that, let y'all know that just research, take a plug out if you have to on your truck and look at it before you take a picture, and put it back in, so you know what to compare to get. Just to let y'all know, if the way that I removed my plugs, if you just want to check your plug to see, and even if you have the slightest doubt that or thought that you might have one of those plugs where it might snap off, it won't break off. Well, I say it won't. It shouldn't. I can't guarantee you it ain't going to break off, because I don't know everybody's vehicle. I mean, it's all different. They all drive them different. They might not be maintained right. But as long as you work it loose, you should be okay. Work it back and forth, and use some of that liquid wrench or carburetor cleaner. You can use that, I've heard too, down in the cylinder or in the wells, spark plug wells. And just let it set. And then work it back and forth. And then you do that like 5 or 6 times, working it back and forth. Then go ahead and try to remove it. Just make sure you go slow. And if you feel that the plug ain't loosening up for you, then tighten it back up, about a turn. Spray a little bit more down, liquid wrench down in there, or carburetor cleaner. Work it back and forth again, and then try to loosen it again. Eventually, it will come out. It will start to loosen where you can take it all the way out, and that'll keep you from breaking those plugs. Now, granted, the ones in the way back is the ones they say always snap off, and the reason why that is because it's a hard place to get to. It really is. But if you do it right, and I bought the adapters, the elbows for your socket set, and I was trying to break it loose with that, and I was scared I was going to snap it. So what I did is I just switched out with extensions, because I've got different sizes extensions, until I was able to get it to where I could turn it with my hand and my arm and hold that socket, that extension, straight, so it's not like this way or that way. It's not crooked. It's right there, straight down in that wheel well, spark plug socket well, and I just held it straight there, and then I was able to break it loose. And same thing, work it back and forth, spray some liquid wrench down in there, let it set, work it back and forth, and I was able to pull that back plug out without breaking it. Came right out. But yeah, just check one plug. Usually cylinder number 1 plug is easiest to get out. 1 through 3 are easy to get out. That's on the passenger side. On the front is spark plug 1. Then it goes on from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way towards the back. And then on the right hand side, which is the driver's side, well, that's looking at the engine on the right hand side. driver's side. It goes 5 from front, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the back. That's just the way Ford does theirs. So take out one, cylinder number one on passenger side up at the front, and look at your plug and see what kind it is. Now, depending on if you got brown boots or black boots of the spark plug boots that fit over the top of the plug, apparently, according to this, if you got the brown boots, it's going to take those plugs that I had that I sent back, because those are the ones, that's the newer year they changed it. The threads are smaller and they're longer. As to the one that I have, my threads are fat and the threads are shorter. And it's got that big long piece that fits down in my head. That's the part that usually gets broken off. But I don't know if I was lucky or what, but plug never broke off or nothing. I think that liquid wrench, when I sprayed it down in there, I think it cleaned that number 3 plug, because it's not fouling out no more. I don't know why. Drives great. It don't skip no more. It don't run rough. That, or I had a short in the wiring, and when I removed it, put it back on, it's now fine. It might give me issues later, but if I run into that, I'll deal with it. But I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope this helps somebody out there on what to watch for before you order your plugs. If you order them online, I'd go to your local auto shop, like a parts store. That way you can always return them, run them back if they're wrong. You don't have to do what I did and just have to print out a label and send it back. And then wait to get your money back. I think I paid $70 for 8 plugs on Amazon. Now they got a deal going on where you save $6 if you order in a pack of 8. You get 8 plugs. Pack of 4, 2 in a box, or 2 packs, 4 in a box. You save 8, like $6 or $8. But when I placed my order, I did the one where they come in individual, and I just select a quantity, and I put 8. But I'm just going to leave it at that. See y'all later. Bye.